Welcome, everyone. Today, I am so excited to invite what I call my Costa Rican visionaries. These are two inspiring entrepreneurs who've created amazing companies in Costa Rica. Intuition led me to these souls somehow, and now we're here together to talk about some different topics, things I normally don't talk about. Uh, because I'm never around such visionary entrepreneurs. So today we're going to be talking about how to humanize AI. But before we do this, I want you guys to each take a few minutes to introduce yourselves. Who are you? What do you do? What are your interests? Why are you interested in AI? Anything that you'd like to share with the guests today. So we'll start with you, Cindy.
Thank you. Thank you very much, JD. It's such a lovely pleasure to see both ladies today and welcome everyone who's actually watching us. My name is Cindy Fonseca. I am from Costa Rica. I grew up in the United States, but I was born here in Costa Rica and continue to live in Costa Rica. I am a licensed psychologist and I work as an executive coach. About uh, 11 years ago, 10 to 11 years ago, I decided to start flying solo and I left the corporate world and decided to create my company. The name of my company is Satori Consulting. And basically what we do, we are in the business of creating awareness. And we work in the leadership and the corporate world, allowing leaders to develop soft skills and basically just self-awareness of what are some of the issues or some of the patterns that we tend to duplicate without us even knowing about it, and helping them discover what triggers behaviors and what are some of the blind spots that they may have in order for them to be able to be better leaders and serve their organization in a more conscious than aware kind of a way. I am a passionate lover of people and human behavior and AI. Oh my goodness, this is a whole new, cup of tea for me. But I'm very curious, and I know we speak about AI as something in the future, but I happen to think it is more in the present that we probably, like to admit or give credit to. And so I'm very much looking forward to having this conversation with you ladies on the subject. So thank you for the invitation.
Thank you for being here, Cindy.
Hi, thank you for the invitation as well. I'm really happy to be here. My name is Carolina Prestinary. I'm from Costa Rica as well. And I have an online business English academy where we help others and we help individual professionals and companies to learn English as a second language, focused on all the corporate part, as well as we help them and guide them with technological skills like metaverse and AI, how we can use it in our daily life and in our professional life as well. And I am really passionate as well, Cindy, for human behavior, but I love also helping. We do a lot of social work in Inoa, and we help young people, we help professionals, and we help everyone in Latam. So that's basically what I do. And I'm really passionate about AI and I use a lot of AI. So I'm really excited for this awesome conversation because I have a lot to share about this.
Yes, like we're actually doing this recording to learn about your knowledge because like I've been an entrepreneur for 13 years. I have a language school like you, and I've just been going along, slowly growing, haven't done too many exponential growth. So it's fun to speak with other entrepreneurs. I really am open to hearing your guys' side because I feel that the three of us have the same values. We really have like spirituality as and like in self-improvement as a focus in our lives, which is not always. I think entrepreneurs are into personal and professional development, but to speak with other female entrepreneurs who have the same interests and maybe belief systems is like, oh, I value your guys' opinion because I'm so unfamiliar I'm so unfamiliar. And that's why I call you guys visionaries, because I feel like I'm just so like, no, in my world, I teach about intuition. I call myself an intuition coach. You know, we can call ourselves whatever we want, but it's like, okay, I love working with professionals, but I want people to have more balance and wellness in their life. I hold these retreats about wellness. And it's like, I'm always teaching let's disconnect from technology and reconnect to ourselves, replug into our own wisdom. And you guys are interested in spirituality and personal growth as well, but you guys are just using what is present now in the world more than I am. So that's why I'm so curious about this. I have a few questions that I want to go through. So, the first question I want to look at is, what are the benefits of AI in business? Why would a company or leaders want actually to incorporate AI?
All right, so can I start, Cindy?
Please,
Yeah,
you're the
all
expert
right.
on this topic. I'm just going to echo whatever you're going to say. So feel free to take the spotlight.
All right. So there's a lot of benefits in AI, but the first one, which is really important for business, small businesses, or huge companies, medium-sized companies, or for even one person to study or work or learn something, is to improve the efficiency. The way that we can automate processes, tasks, helping others to simplify their lives when they work, to do a summary in a book, to understand strategies or really complex activities, and using AI to improve this efficiency, it's really important. And this goes with the part of data analysts as well, like the analysis that we can do with a lot of numbers, a lot of different documents. It's even faster than only one person in a computer analyzing things. So this helps us as professionals develop in other skills, humanize a little bit this technology, and help these people, right? Help other companies, help other students in my case, but having a lot of things already done, because AI it can be my best friend or it could be my enemy, right? But also, like, money wise, there's a cost, like savings. Like I can literally automate processes and a lot of things inside my company that will be a lower cost, and it will help me a lot to use my time and hire more professors or hire more people to do other things instead of sitting in front of a computer and doing a lot of things that AI can do it literally in 3 seconds. Yeah, so I think one of the benefits in AI is that to be really productive and use of time, it could be more efficiency, and you can be more agile in your processes and your really important and complex activities.
Yeah, I'm hearing a lot of like time management. Yeah.
And I just wanted to add, obviously I don't use it. I do use it, but I don't use it to, for those automation purposes that Carolina is talking about. But I found that AI has helped me, is like the greatest researcher, is reduced my amount of research time for the content creation and for the creation of new workshops and of new material and of the challenges that I face. Whenever I have to submit information to a new client with a particular, very specific task at hand, AI enables me to just, shortcut to a very precise way of presenting, and it provides me a fantastic source or resource of useful information. Obviously, I have to guide it, and it's a learnable thing that it's become a friend that I have to learn its language, and we currently are learning to communicate with one another in order for me to be able to receive the information that I need. But it has cut my research time down significantly, because I can literally ask it to provide me, studies and quotes and whatever it is happening in the past and in the future, and what are the trends and current, most current impactful, ways of perceiving and viewing this particular topic that I'm searching. And it would just present endless amount of information. So I definitely think and consider this to be yet another one of those benefits that Carolina was also mentioning.
And I have one more, and I think Cindy and I relate with it, is that with AI, we can go even further in education, right? We can help others to understand things or teach really precise things for students and making their learning processes even more easy. You know, it's like, it's easier if you have, like Cindy said, like, hey, if I have this course, instead of teaching something that perhaps is not valid for the students, perhaps AI creates this awesome course and will help me like literally emphasize what I need my students to learn. And it will take me more time, and I will appreciate more time with my students instead of creating content. No, here AI, create this. Now I spend my time as a human contact, human relationship, emotions with my students with this course that AI did for me.
Oh, I like hearing that. You know, I'm coming on as the devil's advocate. So this is, I feel, my role right now, because for me, I'm noticing my resistance and going, I am a teacher of authenticity and following your own wisdom. And, and so I feel like if I'm just using AI, I feel, hearing you guys speak, I feel like a little bit of shame of like not living my authentic truth, or not, creating content that's deep from me, even though I get it. I hear you I hear it. And I like playing this little devil's advocate a little bit about pushing like, you're saying this could be your best friend, but this can also be your enemy. Like, please say more a little bit, like, how can AI be an enemy?
Well, nowadays you can even, like, we're right here, right? But I can change my voice. I can change the way I look. I can send you pictures and it's not even me. I can send, well, the other day, I received a call from a recording from AI. So I can record it and change the voices and change everything, just like, do really bad things. Like there's a lot of wrong ways that we can use AI. Also, it's really important that for me, it's one of my challenges is to help people to use it correctly. Because if I tell you, hey, you know what, you girls have to read a book, and I'm like, no, I'm not going to read it. Hey, AI, can you do like this really good summary about this book, because I don't want to read it? And that's not correct either. It's fine if we're doing something for research or something really important, like to use better my time, but there's a certain thing that we should really be careful about, not only all the things I'm telling you about, but the critical thinking of people. Like, we should really use this technology in a correct way, so we do not depend on this technology for everything. Like, the technology will never have my emotion, will never have my mind. It can have a lot of knowledge about information and stuff, but it will never be a human. And there's a lot of people that they're relating with AI as if it was a person. I know it's created by people, of course it is, but we have to be really careful with our critical thinking, with how we engage with this technology, and be really careful to, it's really difficult to make a difference between what's made by AI and what's made by a human, right? Because now you can do music. You can do whatever you want. Literally, you can create marketing spaces. It's not even real. I can say like, hey, I need this car in a mountain, and then AI develops all these awesome places, and perhaps this mountain or this place doesn't even exist, right? Now, like, hey, this is in Costa Rica, and perhaps it's not. So we have to be really careful and open-minded for this topic, and obviously understand and be well educated, because sometimes it's really difficult to differentiate what a human did and what AI did.
So, Judy, and I wanted to I wanted to go back to a comment that you made in regards to authenticity, because I happen to think, that is a fantastic, question to raise. And the way I see it, and this is, again, it's just my humble opinion. I could totally be wrong, or there can definitely be other perspectives on the matter. But the way I see it is, let's take, for instance, that the three of us are reading a book, right? That it was recommended by someone. And then we go in, we dive, we love it, and then we get around to sharing our appreciations of that book, right? The authenticity of what I took out of the book is going to come out. The same way it's going to come out for you, and the same way it's going to come out for Carolina, right? With AI, the way I see it is AI is being that book, right? That it will provide me with that information that then I'm going to have to read, and I'm going to have to distill, and I'm going to have to extract the information that I deem necessary, and then position it in my own personal flavor to then be out, be able to go out to the world and share my own perspective based on the data that has been provided. The AI is not going to tell me, Cindy, you have to say this in this language and then in this tone, and I'm not a robot just reading out of a script, right? This information that I'm gathering or I'm getting from the information I'm downloading is just the same as the information I would get from a book. It's more concise, it is more specific, and therefore I will use it depending on the objective that I want to aim at. And therefore my authenticity is automatically going to come out whenever I express myself based on the data that I found, through AI. So I don't know if this makes any sense, or if it answers your concern, or if it even opens a whole door of another discussion.
Well,
Yeah, I think I think it does, but we have to be really careful, because how about kids at school, right?
Right.
Like, okay, so there's a summary and I just copy paste. No, hey, just what Cindy said, you have to analyze it, put it like your flavor, and, write down things. It's really important, but it's like, it's so important to like literally be really well educated in the use of AI and the benefits of AI, and not take the other way around, but yeah, totally. I think, and this is an example of a book, but there's like 1,000 more examples for this, right? Oh yeah.
Hearing you guys speak, the word that keeps coming to my mind is the word discernment. So really being discerning in the information, and we're in this like information technology era where I'm being inundated by information all the time. Like when I'm hiking, I can be listening to podcasts about whatever, and I turn on my phone to check my schedule, and I have news that's coming up. Like we're constantly, so I feel like, okay, that's kind of like life AI. Okay, I say something on my phone, and now I say something, my phone hears me, now things are coming up on my phone about whatever, so it's just like constant inundation. But then I feel, and I want to just share with the leaders listening, of like, you guys, I want to be the messenger of like, don't forget, with all of the busyness and around and the fast and saving time, reconnect to your own truth and your own wisdom, and be discerning and going, look, okay, I have all this information. What is right for me? What is authentic? What does maybe my client actually need? Like just dropping out of our heads and this is my message, my big message of like dropping out of our logic all the time and reconnecting back to our inner wisdom and our intuition. And I remember speaking to Cindy one of the first times, and you're like, JD, you move at the speed of light. And we're three entrepreneurs who like get stuff done, and I feel like we do, because we're all so connected to our inner wisdom. Call it intuition, gut feeling, call it whatever you want, but we're connected to something maybe beyond our mind, and we're able to have these insights and take action. So it's like, just there's information outside, and let yourself sit with this, and then offer this in the most beneficial way. Because my big fear, I'm very resistant to AI, because it could be a beautiful thing. And do you think our leaders, whoever, entrepreneurs, business people, leaders, visionaries, do you think we are evolved enough? I'm going to say we as the collective. Is the collective evolved enough to use AI in a beneficial way? That's my fear. I think there's great things. If there's visionary entrepreneurs and people who want to change the world, this can be a great tool. But those who are destructive and using this in a dark way, like, do you think as a world we're evolved enough to be using AI in business?
I think I'm thinking. So if let's say that yes, we can use it, and I think we can be trained and well educated to use it. If we really understand that it could be our best friend, right? And try to avoid going on that like dark side, like you were saying, and try to let people know that we can have empathy and we can also use our emotional intelligence incorporating AI. What do I mean? Like, okay, look, this is AI. AI will do this and this and this, but then, hey, you human, you have the emotion needs. You're the ones that are the people that are going to create the critical thinking, the emotional intelligence, the decision making. We can decide if we're here in a meeting, but AI will simplify these processes. If people really understand that there's like a really nice collaboration and that AI will encourage this collaboration in business processes or in a meeting where we have to make a decision or to educate others or to simplify our lives with a lot of things, or like book reading or summaries and stuff. I think that way it will be a great place where we can start. But I think that the ones that we work with this every single day, we have this huge responsibility to educate everyone, like to guide people correctly, like, hey, no, I mean, yes, of course you can do this and this, and it could be funny, but it's really not the correct way to use it. But it's our constant work. Like, I have this responsibility right now to educate people and talking to you and guiding you and telling you what's correct and what's not. I mean, there's an ethical use with the AI systems, and there's a responsibility for business people, and there's a responsibility for managers and entrepreneurs that we should guide people to use this correctly, to make the correct decisions inside a company, and to engage and have empathy with AI systems as well.
I also think, guys, that this discernment aspect that Jade is bringing up, yeah, of course it applies to AI, but it exists way before AI was even invented. Let's talk about power. Let's talk about abuse and how I exercise those domains or money, right? Do I use it to help the poor, or do I use it to walk all over people just because I can? And therefore, it's a very subtle topic that you're bringing up, but it is not new. I think you guys froze. Can you hear me?
Yeah, you're perfect and clear for me.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
perfect. It's just probably my end, but you guys just froze there. So I'm thinking this discernment aspect that you're bringing up, Katie, it's got something to do. AI is yet another tool, right? But before AI, there was power, there was money, there was, other ways of oppression and other ways of managing and controlling people, religion, and this is just, topics offhand that just come to mind that have basically shaped the way we think, and therefore has opened multiple ways of handling ourselves, both through the positive and through the negative, standards. And so I think it is a matter of how your core value system kicks in. And I think education is completely key, in this aspect, not in just the awareness and the proper uses of AI, but how do we conduct ourselves as human beings? Because, it goes way deeper than yet another tool that is out there in the market for us to use and abuse.
And I think it's not mandatory. Like, not everyone needs to use AI, right? Like Cindy said, not everyone has the same religion, or, just understand that it's there, know what it is, know what are the benefits, know what I can do in a really wrong way and how it can help me in my life. But there's a lot of really, really secure search engines in AI. But it's not mandatory for everyone. But it's fine if you understand what it is, not ignore it. You don't want to use it, it's fine. Just, realize that it's there and a lot of people use it, and that's it. And if you want to try, go ahead and look for the correct person or the correct company or the correct search engine to literally understand and say, hey, what is AI? Please, somebody explain it to me. How can I use it in my professional area, which is this and this? But a really secure and trustworthy search places or people or companies. That will be like the way that we can humanize AI is like this, like, how it could be involved in this awesome meeting, right? How can it be involved in your event? How can it could be involved in my daily life with my family or not, or only my professional area, and that's fine. You know, just to understand and that it's there, and it could be really good for you or really bad for you, or just don't use it.
A word I really liked that you said, Carolina, was the word empathy. Because I'm someone who's very highly empathetic, and some people aren't. You know, there's entrepreneurs, many entrepreneurs I know, they don't feel empathy. You know, it's like, okay, well, I'm very empathetic, and maybe that's helped me with the success of my business, because I work with business professionals. They don't care about my education. They want to know, like, do I care about them? Or even in business, we choose to do business with people we like and trust, right? So it's like, you know, people want to know that they're cared for. Anyways, that's a whole other story. But
Mhm.
my second question of today for you is, how can we humanize AI in business? And I know you were bringing up the word empathy, being empathetic and stuff. Tell me more about this. How can we actually use it in business?
I'm always starting, so Cindy, please go ahead.
No. Go ahead, because I don't even. I'm still trying. How do we use empathy?
No, how do we
Humanize.
How
how
do
do
we
we
humanize?
humanize? Yeah, and I like
Yes.
this first question is actually for you, Carolina. I want you to start with this because
Mhm.
you have many ideas, and this will maybe spark some more ideas for Cindy and me after, because yeah, you told me some points that you want to touch on, which is really interesting topic. So I'd love to hear it from you.
Yeah. So first of all, I think that we can humanize AI by making AI part like another classmate or another coworker. Like literally, let's put him a name and a last name and say, okay, hey, you are a human next to me, that you have more access. I mean, you don't sleep, you're not hungry, you're always there, but you are there for me, human being. You're right there for me to help me with my direct needs. So I can have a transparent communication, a clear communication with the users. If I'm, let's say I'm the person, the manager, I will say, hey, this is the role of AI in this team. Okay, you're going to, its name is da da da, and this person, and this machine will help us understand certain processes, or help us in decision making process, or something that we have to do, and be really transparent with that part and the benefits it can bring us, and also limit the use of AI inside a company. It's fine as well. And also, AI is a really user-friendly interface. It's so easy to use, but there's certain things and tricks that you can, if you really know how to use it, it will be easier for you to work on it. So have another thing that you can humanize it is between your coworkers or the team, start experimenting. Like, okay, let's start. I'm going to experiment this. We're going to talk about marketing. Let's start doing this. And then we come back as a team and we talk about it. And that way we can connect and we have collaboration between the team. So we are using AI, then we come back and we make a decision, and this decision will help us for this project, or will help us with this other client, etc. And also, I think that we should, like we have been talking about, the ethical use. Like, okay, like literally sign a contract, something like that, like something that's symbolic with the employees, to say, hey, this is the ethical way that we should do business. Like, not everything is going to be used or 100% responsibility of AI. It will be a responsibility of both of us. AI, which is our, partner here, but also we're going to put this human touch, and we are going to create this environment of creativity, this space of critical thinking, and this awesome space where we can put all of our ideas together and then take them to AI to see if it improves. Perhaps it could do a better, it could give us a better solution for this client, but after we did all this like brainstorming together and collaboration together. So I think that's a little bit of what I have been doing in my company and with my clients, and educating people as well, because there's a lot of people that perhaps they don't know, but hey, no worries. We are a team. I can help you out. You don't have to go ask AI, tell me, and I can, guide you a little bit. You can come with me and we can go into this source and start researching or asking whatever you want. So create this really nice collaboration spaces and educate people and understand that it's really secure. If you use the correct search engines or the correct platforms, they're really secure, and your information, your data will be secure as well. So it's really important to, choose the correct one and educate the team, and always involve the team in these processes.
I wanted to add to that what Caro said, and maybe she implied it, but I think one way of humanizing AI is by normalizing it. It is here. It's not something that is coming, right? It's not something that is going to happen in 10 years. It's not something that, will eventually my kids and my grandkids will take advantage of. No. This is something that it is happening today, right? So let's normalize it. Let's openly share our concerns. Let's openly talk about my fears. Let's openly discuss about why do I feel threatened by it, and let's talk about the benefits that it provides. Let's look at it from a 360 perspective, right? And because we're humans and we're all of a sudden being invaded by this machine who Carolina is telling me I need to name, and it's going to be, it's going to be part of my team, and it could easily take over my role because, it knows more than I actually do. And so let's create a safe environment where we can actually talk about its use and its benefits, but also its restraints, and that ethical part that Carolina was talking about is also key. We need to mark the rules, because AI in itself is not going to be a rule maker. It's just going to be a follower. It just happens to be and this is a way I personally happen to see AI. I happen to see it as a very, very, very effective butler who is there for my, for my needs and my services, and it provides whatever it is that I need in the most effective and efficient kind of a way that I could possibly even imagine. It doesn't cook for me yet, but
but it gives you recipes. It gives you recipes. Like you say, hey, I have, I don't know, a tomato, I have a banana, and I have tortillas. What can I do? And then he tells it, do this recipe. Okay, I'm going to do this. So that's that way you can do it. It doesn't cook for you, but it gives you a really good recipe.
You still, looking at your face, you're like, yeah, but still not convinced. So
just the recipe thing.
The devil advocate.
I totally am, because I'm like, okay, the recipe thing. Well, I'm in the process with my retreats. I offer these like really nutritional meals, and I actually am in the process of wanting to create a cookbook that's called Intuitive Cooking. Like, okay, these are the 4 ingredients I cook with. And like the 4 Agreements by Don Miguel, it's a classic book. Well, I'm going to call it the 4 ingredients, because everything I cook with during my retreats is like 4 ingredients. And people are like, my mom, she's very brain, very like logical, like, tell me the exact. And I'm like, Mom, I just cook intuitively. So it's kind of like this, or AI tells us what to make. I'm frustrated. I'm like, no, I want to be the teacher of like, we have ingredients, these 4 ingredients, and you make what your intuition and what you feel. And I just feel like I'm very scared, and I don't know why I'm so scared of like, we're going to lose that. We're going to be just in like, oh, AI knows. Remember back in the day when I drove, I didn't even have a cell phone. When I started my company, I didn't have a cell phone. I didn't have Google Maps. I had to open the map, pull over on the side, and figure out my way to get from client to client. Now, like, I can't get anywhere without a Google map, or like you guys maybe use Wise or something in Costa Rica. Like, we're so dependent on that. It's like, so I feel, where is my resistance? It sounds great. I hear you guys. My life would probably be 10 times easier if I wasn't so resistant to this. And I just feeling like as a business person, if I am working with a company and I have a problem, I go onto their chat and it's the AI. Here, solve the problem. And I'm like, can I please speak to a human? The human will deal with the problem. I understand AI can be 10 times faster than humans. I understand. I get it. And I get really frustrated when I phone a company or I'm on a chat and I'm like, can I just speak to a representative somewhere in the world? I don't even care where they are in the world, because they deal with my problem 10 times faster than AI going, oh, click here if this is your problem. Did we help you? Nope. And then I get more mad and more mad and more mad. And it's like, I don't think that's a nice, what is it? I don't think it's a reputation for a company, or really, okay, they want to be efficient, but I just feel like they don't care. They don't care. They're like, deal with your problem yourself. And I'm pretty independent. I think the three of us are quite independent women. I can manage things. I'm self-taught for most things in my life. But when I have a problem, can I just speak to a human who can deal with my problem?
Yeah,
What I'm
I
actually hearing,
Am
no,
I
no, sorry,
asking for
sorry.
too much? Am I asking for too much?
No, not at all.
no, no.
I don't think you're asking for too much at all. However, I can't help but hear the fear
Mm-hmm.
within you in regards to losing autonomy, losing human autonomy.
Mm-hmm.
This is how I'm reading your concerns,
Yeah.
right? You're fearing a machine taking over
Yeah.
the humanity aspect, right?
Mm-hmm.
And I think it's completely a valid fear to have. And you know what,
Mhm.
JD? The scariest thing is that we're heading in that direction. I mean, I can't just sugarcoat it and tell you, oh, that's just a myth. That's just something that, because it could scale to something like that, which will force humanity to reinvent itself, to readapt, to reskill. We're gonna have to learn new skills. And I think you could focus it based on the fear factor that, oh my gosh, I'm going to lose my job, and you know, I'm no longer going to be able to talk to a human person, you know, in a customer service field. Or you could actually use it as a leverage to say, you know what, I'm not used to this right now. It's very frustrating for me, but if I learn the system, I know that my call would have taken 20 minutes, and if I do this right, my downtime is going to cut short to 5. But you're not seeing the benefits because fear in itself is getting in the way. And I just want to say, honor the fear,
Yeah.
embrace it,
Yeah.
but don't ask it to camp and move in with you permanently, because it will obstruct another way of actually living that it is more real than you, sweetheart, are willing to give it, you know, to acknowledge it, because it
Yeah.
is happening. It is part of our reality. So the what you resist persists.
Mm-hmm.
So how can we, in a very cautious, in a very, you know, restrained way, still allow ourselves to be curious about it? And what if you just add a pinch of curiosity to the mix and say, you know what, let's complement one another. You know, I'm going to use you for my needs until I learn or I change my mindset in regards to your existence. So I don't know. I'm really surprised to hear myself speak, to be honest with you, because I didn't know I had such strong feelings on the matter, and apparently I do. And so I'm just learning, you know. So I'm learning as we speak. I'm glad we're having this conversation.
Yeah, and I think it's totally bad. Everything that you said seems like the same thing I was going to say. Just I'm going to add something as a teacher, and as and you, JD, as we have language academies, and we have students all the time, and we need to talk to students. We have this huge responsibility to guide them and educate them in the best way that we can. And if we have this awesome tool that we can use in a lot of things, we have to guide them correctly. So like Cindy said, it's mindset, and you have to be a little bit open to try. I totally agree with you. It's like, hey, I want to talk to an agent, please. Yeah, you can do that, and an agent will talk to you. But if you're like, no, it makes like this huge thing around it, like Cindy said. And sometimes it only takes 2 minutes, and the bot will tell you like, okay, agent, and then you will be talking to a person. But perhaps we're like so involved that, oh no, it's going to take over humanity. Yeah, there's a lot of fear, but like Cindy said, we have to embrace it, but also we have to know how to, start like getting out of that dark side and say, hey, you know what? It's not that bad. It helps us a lot with a lot of things. So what we do in a company that I work for is that I am the person in charge of those bots. So you want something, and you're like, hi, yes, I want to know something about e-learning. So the bot starts telling you like question, then there's an option. If it was it helpful? Yes, but I want an agent. Agent, bloom, and it comes to me, hi, my name is Carolina. How may I help you? Hi, yes, are you a human? Yes, I'm a human. Do you want a call? You want an email? How can I contact you? What else do you need? So it's really interesting because AI, instead of me being there stuck and, asking all these questions, copy paste the things, AI did it all for me. And when you come here, I'm like, okay, this is her name. Okay, this is what she needs. Great. Hey, I can help you right now in 4 minutes. There's the information. So we're combining this platform, this other coworker that I have that is doing all that part for me. And then comes, my part, like, hey, what do you need? Let's talk. I will help you. No worries. So it's important.
This is the ideal, and this is why they hired you at a nice company to implement this, because I would love that. The preliminary stuff, it's like, you don't need to do this, but it's like but at least offer a live agent. And then like, okay, they see what everything has been done. There's more efficiency. I see that. But for me, I'm thinking, why am I so resistant? Because all of my life and all of my work has been customer service. And I value that. And I go to the stores and these self-checkouts. There was this one place I went to, a store, big store, and there were staff just standing around just talking, which is good. I'm glad they're working. Well, I'm glad they have a job. And they were like, oh, go through the self-checkout. And I was like, no, like, I want some human interaction. Like, why are you for standing here? Like, can someone help me? Like, I don't, this isn't my job. I don't know how to do all of this. And they're like, oh, sure. And they were happy to help me. But I had to ask them. I'm like, I'm refusing to do this self-checkout. You guys are all here to help. And I think, even there's studies like, elderly people, like my grandma, she's 85. She goes to the store every day to get bananas. But why? Why does she get bananas? She wants some connection. She wants to see humans, like, we still need that. I think one thing we had a talk earlier, and you said something so profound, Cindy. You were saying, and I'm going to just super summarize this, but you were saying like, oh, you asked a question to AI and the question was sensitive, and AI responded first with, I am so sorry if I'm like mistell the story, but like, I am so sorry that you have to even ask this question. I empathize with you. You must be going through a hard time. Like, it was like something, like, it was very such a beautiful way to speak. And that scares me too, because as humans, we forgot. I'm really big in authentic relating world, and I do workshops. I've had workshops in my home, radical honesty and circling, which is like really interpersonal meditation and really connecting to other people's worlds and speaking with nonviolent communication, all of that. During the summit, we're going to have speakers who talk about stuff like this. And that's, again, my interest. And it's like, can we teach humans to be like this instead of relying on AI to speak to us like that?
But we are teaching humans to talk like that.
Exactly.
I mean, my whole entire world professionally revolves around that, about teaching people empathy and teaching people, to be kind to one another and to love themselves and to love, others. So it is happening simultaneously. Not one thing is taking over the other. And that, I think that's the biggest challenge.
Yeah.
For you, perhaps, and for even people listening to this who, side on your perspective, which is fantastic. But at the same time, is one doesn't have to beat the other.
Yeah.
They can coexist exactly the same way human emotions coexist. I can be at a funeral where someone really dear to me just died, and still be cracking up because I ran into a childhood friend who I haven't seen in so long, who came to the mourning or to the wake to say goodbye to that person. And those two emotions that are completely opposite, and they can coexist exactly at the same time, even when one would think it is inappropriate to be laughing or to be having a good time because we're supposed to be sad. That's exactly the way I happen to think that it can be complemented, one with the other.
Yeah. And again, educate people correctly with this use.
Yes. That's it. And and I think the fear that you're experiencing could be to the unknown.
Yeah.
You haven't practiced, you haven't, touched or played with it enough to sort of say, hey, this ain't bad. Like I could, use it to, even if it is just to improve your life at a 2% level, that is an improvement. It doesn't necessarily mean you have to rely on it, or now I don't do any work because AI is going to do it for me 100%. No, it will always, the humanity aspect of things will always be here. The challenge here is that we're going to have to reinvent ourselves and reposition the way we humans play our role. But honey, this is not something new. This has been happening. If we go back in time, so many things have shifted over the years. So many things. I mean, 100 years ago, we couldn't possibly think of the three of us connecting virtually. Yeah. We saw this in the Jetsons. Do you guys remember the Jetsons when we were growing up? Yeah. That was such a far out idea. And here we are living it.
I know.
So this isn't something new, and were we reluctant to go in on Zoom? And I remember when the pandemic kicked in, and I do one-on-one sessions with my clients face to face. I was upset and I was resistant. How could I do this online? And because I had no choice but to adjust and adapt. Now it created a whole new world of opportunities for me that I can be doing this same lecture in China, in Japan, in Australia. It doesn't really matter. But if I would have stuck to being resistant to it, I would have missed out on the great opportunities that it presented to me. So yes, it pains us. Yeah, it's uncomfortable. It is new. It is a learning curve. But if we want to continue to evolve, even in the spiritual world, it is painful to grow. It is painful to get the acknowledgement, to change my mind, to open a space in my heart for something that it is new that I have never lived before. It's uncomfortable. It scares the shit out of me. But if I don't open myself and give it a try, I might just be missing out on the greatest opportunity to position myself and to see the world through a different lens.
Yeah, I think we should empower people as well. And hey, JD, we're here in your event and we're using technology and we're using a lot of things and we're like connecting and we're not, we're humans just through a computer. And this is awesome. It's only a tool. It's only a way to improve our lives, but it doesn't mean that we're going to be less human. Here we're connecting and we can talk whenever we want. Imagine how cool it will be if I can connect with you. Meanwhile, AI is doing, I don't know, a business process for me. And I'm like, hey, let's keep on talking. I'm here. Okay, so I grab that info. I'm like, hey, check this out. Let's read this together. I want your input on this. Yeah, let's talk. So, Cindy starts getting her awesome knowledge. And then we do this awesome document for JD's, I don't know, event or something that she needs. But we're here using technology in our favor and understand that it's only a tool to improve certain things, and we're not less human if we use it or not. And like Cindy said, we have to adapt, but we have to guide people. That's why I have this huge responsibility to guide people and tell them what's right and what's wrong. I mean, everyone makes their own decisions, but it's my responsibility to say, hey, no, this is the correct way. And I will guide you through. You don't have to use it. Don't use it. It's fine. Just at least know what it is. And know, like Cindy said, it's now. It's not the future. It's now. It's happening. And here we're talking. And if I go into, there's a really awesome AI hub. And if I go in, probably there's a lot of more apps, new apps they have been creating. So it's important to be informed and never think that a machine will, be human, because it's not. The emotions will always, they will never replace us. Each of us are individuals and we have our emotions and we have our awesome minds and creativity, and that will never change. That's my opinion.
Well, I really love the point you brought up, because it definitely shifted something inside of me to go, yeah, like even with my clients, they were super resistant to online classes. And for 10 years, I was going to people's workplaces, driving. I had people drive an hour, and I live in Canada. So this would be in snowstorms, busy business professionals. They would drive 1 hour to come have a 2-hour class with me at my office, and they would drive an hour home. And it was just like, now and they were very resistant online. No, we need to be in person, JD. We need to be in person. And I was the one pushing. Like I was like the visionary back in the day, like no online. This is the
You
way to
got it.
go. I was the visionary back in the day. Now I'm like less, but back then I was like, no, online is the way. And I was like, you're going to lose your hours or you're going to switch online with me. They switched online. And I was like, now ethically, I can't make or ask people to drive 1 hour to come have a meeting with me. Like for me, for us, I'm a 5.5 hour flight away and an hour to the airport. So maybe 6.5, 7 hours if I wanted to be with you guys today. Like, and it was just like, hey, we log in. It's a beautiful day and we're all together. And yeah, I do. And I remember, and it's like thinking back the Jetsons, like I remember being in Disney World in Florida and Epcot Center. And I was probably maybe 10 years old. This was like 30 years ago. And there was one like ride where you could see the future. And I remember this so distinctly. And it was like a phone, remember, like on the wall, but then you could see the people. And at 10, I was like, I will never do that. I will never, ever do that. I was like, I like to be in my pajamas when I'm not talking on the phone. That will never happen.
I like to play with a cord. Remember just playing with a cord
I
while
don't
you
want to
spoke
be
to someone
bothered.
online?
I don't want to be bothered anytime I want. All the stories we have in like just a couple decades, it's just like mind blowing. Now with the summit, I'm doing this Radiant Leaders virtual summit, and I purposely chose people from around the world because I want it to be a worldwide event because I love cultures. And it's like, so I have someone from India, Greece, from France, Costa Rica, US, Canada. I'm doing a 1-day event, Mexico. And I literally chose like one or two people from around the world because we all are sharing really profound knowledge about how can entrepreneurs and visionaries and business people level up in their business. And I think, yeah, it's like, stop resisting. I have to work on myself to, why am I resisting? It's going so fast. That's the thing. Maybe that's my resistance. Things are so fast, and my teachings is entrepreneurs need to slow down. And so it's kind of like like it's a little bit of both. The whole technology era is like, oh, we're supposed to have technology so we have more free time. But do we have free time? I see more burnout. I see more depression, more anxiety. We are expected
by
to
choice.
Yeah, exactly. So I'm just kind of like, hey guys, we have a tool. I like how you guys say it. Doesn't have to take over our lives. This is a tool to help us. And I'm also there to remind people, let's slow down. Let's
Exactly.
slow down a bit still. So, okay, the last question, because we could talk about this forever, but just how, like, I want to honor the 3 questions. Like, how should leaders use AI in the future? And you were saying kind of there's these hubs or these apps, or is there like something that entrepreneurs can look for or go to access some of these?
Yes, actually, and the majority of things are free. That's the cool part. So everyone has access to it. So that's where I come up and, like you said, slow down. So how about if you tell a client, hey, you know what? How about if you finish working and this client of yours is in AI, it's finishing a document, and then come back to your session, and that person will be really relaxed because AI just did a lot of work for that person, and I don't know, analyzing data or whatever, and comes here like, hey, you know what, JD, I have this and this and this, and he's 100% with you because he's already relaxed that it wasn't 10 hours of his job. It was just like of his time. It was just like 1 hour. I put the info, I got the document, and now I have an entire hour to be focused on JD. Imagine that.
Yeah. What are some apps? So, where do people go to get these free things?
Yes. So in social media, if you you Google it, you just put AI or generative AI, and then you'll see all the things that generative AI has done. Meta, Facebook, Google, Microsoft. There's a lot of huge companies that are they're offering all these awesome apps for free, so people can use it and try them out. There's apps that you can use AI for only text or images or videos, And there's a lot of these apps that are testing, so people can go in and all the input that they're and their opinions about it will help these companies to improve. So this hub is by Generative AI. If you follow them in Instagram, for example, they're always putting all the updated trends. So it's really easy to get informed because it's you can receive an email or you just can go in and just click and they, you go directly to the app and start exploring. So regarding your question, that will be one thing. The leaders should guide their employees or their coworkers to explore these platforms and to embrace a culture of experimentation and learning. Like, okay, so we're going to have this space for exploring and learning. Okay, you choose whatever you want. So if you're going to do AI, this is the correct way, or this is some apps, and encourage this culture and continuous learning to also lead these people for, to creativity and to adapt to these changes in a really smooth way. And that's where you come in, JD, right? Like, hey, you know what? You're still human, but let's like smoothen this, this path with technology and combine them. And also, like we said earlier, foster collaboration, right? Between AI and my team. Like, okay, so we're humans, we're going to do this, but AI is going to help me, or even leverage the strengths of both, like, hey, I have no idea about this topic. Like, let's see what AI says. Oh, so this is this. Oh, yeah, right. Okay, so JD, It will be easier for me to explain something if I, connect with AI in the correct way. And sorry, I'm just going to answer one more thing because this is really interesting. But the ethical and the responsibility way to use AI as well. As leaders, we should always give the employee their place, of course, but in an ethical way, use technology for our business development, and also to be really transparent, and also to be a leader that will have this opportunity to listen to their team, but also know that there is a technology there. And we were saying before that now it's really difficult to differentiate what's made by humans and what's made by AI. So I think it's really important to the ethical part be really clear, and help people with their critical thinking and their creativity, embrace these spaces. And yeah, because if not, it will take 3 hours more if I continue talking. But yeah, I think that will be like a good answer.
Nothing to say.
So just to close, do you guys have any last thoughts, anything you'd like to share with our listeners today about?
I do. And this is an announcement, I suppose.
Ooh.
Because you were kind enough to offer me a space, and I will be talking about perception versus perspective. And I think talking about perception versus perspective will help us understand the biases and the resistance that we may have, onto new things that we're experiencing. So I think it's going to be super complementary to, to this lecture that we just shared here today.
Yeah, I can't wait for
Stay
it.
tuned.
Stay tuned. Yes.
But I'm just grateful. I'm grateful. Caro, I think you're a superstar. Thank you so much for, presenting us with this topic. It just ignited something in me that I had no idea it existed. I'm just, and JD, you are such an amazing connector. So thank you so much for putting this together. And I think you're giving yourself not enough credit, for the usage of technology, AI, and AI is just another little leg of technology. And you're building a world, you're connecting the entire universe, literally, in this summit. And you're just a fantastic connector. And I just want to, to share my gratitude and appreciation for these spaces. So thank you very much.
Actually, me too. Thank you, JD, because this is awesome. I mean, what you're doing is awesome, and connecting with people around the world where we can share and create this huge network and listen to all these perspectives. We're using technology, but also we're humanizing it, as you gave us this awesome opportunity. And as leaders, we should involve the use of AI in a really with strategy and in a responsible way to drive into innovation, but never leaving the human part. And I think that's really important. We have this responsibility to educate and guide people to enhance a really awesome business operations and guide people and try to help people to embrace that fear, but then transform that into what they really are in creativity and spaces of innovation as well.
Yeah,
So
it
thank
just
you, JD.
such a resonance to this, because I love the way you guys say it. It's like, JD, don't be scared. I can't wait to talk about perception and perspective for our next talk. And it's complementary. I don't have to be scared. It's a tool. And it's exactly, I received intuitive guidance. Well, we have a mutual friend, Carolina, who was like, he went on WhatsApp, which is a tool that we get to connect for free. Like, and I loved what he said. It was like, the world needs you two to meet. And I was like, that is profound. Okay. And you were like, you trusted it. And he intuitively received that. And then I had my first meeting with you, and I was like, you and Cindy, the world needs you two to meet. And so it was like, I'm connected to my higher self. I'm connected to my wisdom, my inner wisdom, my guidance, my compass, my intuition. And we're able to use these tools that have been gifted to us to be able to serve and contribute and help others and work and all of the good things, teach languages, coach others, and psychology and it all. So yes, I need to work on less resistance to what is. This is all the teachings that I'm always on the spiritual path of like, stop resisting to what is. And you guys are reminding me of that. And it's so nice. I'm so grateful that I know you and that we are able to connect today online and learn from one another. So thank you again for joining me. And I hope this will have created some, neat realizations for our listeners today. Thanks, guys.
Thank you.
Thank you.